Hey, what's your prediction there, dude?
Pure and utter enjoyment to watch Jaco because he's gonna be just as bad as I am at it. So it's gonna be like
we're gonna watch the film back later and just laugh hilariously at it.
You're probably gonna finish your 3, and we're gonna just start the second set.
All right, camera that. If I don't finish the 3s, and then I sink. All right, the goal is 3 minutes for round 1, 3 minutes for round 2, 4 minutes for round 3. We're gonna see if it's gonna happen. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to some daily content. Yes, I know I don't have a shirt on. No, I don't care. Yes, I am growing green chest hair. We just got done doing a sled push run workout at a local turf field. I popped in on this hot Saturday afternoon to film a video real quick in the air conditioning. So I just don't feel like putting a shirt on, okay? So get over it, okay? Let's get started. We are off in 3, 2, 1, and we are getting it. What are we doing here? We are doing 3 different workouts, okay? With 2 minutes rest between each portion. And it gets progressively different and or harder, depends on how you look at it, for the handstand push-up portion. So, 21-15-9 of strict handstand push-ups and a handstand obstacle is the first workout. So I'm gonna do 21 strict handstand push-ups, and then I'm gonna go do a handstand obstacle. I'm gonna go over the ramp, down the stairs, up the stairs, down the ramp. That's 1, okay? And then I'm gonna go back and do 15 strict handstand push-ups, over and back, and then 9 over and back. I'm not doing 21 obstacle courses. That would be ridiculous and take forever. So anyway, so we're doing 21-15-9 strict handstand push-ups and handstand obstacle. And then we are going to take a 2-minute rest. And then we'll be doing 15-12-9 of a kipping deficit handstand push-up at 6 inches. And then a handstand obstacle. So 15 and then handstand obstacle, then back to 12, get my point. And then a 2-minute rest. And then we're back for the final round, and we are doing 9-6-3 of a 14-inch deficit, parallette deficit kipping handstand push-up. So we're on parallettes, and then handstand obstacle. So really, what we're trying to get at here is what you're seeing now, to fry my overhead, right? We're trying to create muscle endurance in an overhead lockout position, trying to fry it and then see what I'm capable of on the handstand obstacle, because it's really the same movement, right? Like I'm pressing, locking out, and now I have to hold the lockout and then move with skill over an obstacle. So we're trying to see what I'm capable of when I'm tired. I think the joke before this workout was the fact that, I think I put it before the workout started, that Andrew said that I might actually be done with it when he was in the middle of one of the middle workout, which I believe happened, but we will see. So I'm right now finishing up the 15s, the handstand obstacle for the 15s. So let's talk about the handstand obstacle, actually. Let's talk about, as I fail at it, let's talk about how good I am at it. Let's talk about ways to really, wow, this is not a good portion of the workout to talk about how good I am at handstand push-ups or handstand walking obstacle. But let's talk about ways to get better at handstand obstacles. If you aren't good at them, what are some good ways to get better at them? Andrew and I are gonna try and do a video on this, but it's just difficult with him and I training for the games, trying to get stuff done right now. But let's talk about really easily right now between us, like what it might look like. So really when it comes down to, if you really wanna be good at, my foot's going straight out. If you really wanna be good at a handstand obstacle or any obstacle inverted, you have to really master the fact of moving your weight and shifting your weight and moving your hands, right? If you can't even walk because you can't shift your weight from hand to hand, then you're not gonna be able to do any obstacle whatsoever, right? You should first focus on how do you shift your weight back and forth between your hands, and then from there, you're looking at, okay, I can shift my weight back and forth. Now, what does it look like for walking? And if you can walk, now you start to add obstacles. And what people mostly tend to do, which isn't very smart, is they tend to make too big of jumps, right? They're like, oh, I can do a muscle up, so now I should be able to do 30 for time. Like take it in small increments, right? Like protect your body. About 36 seconds too slow, ladies and gentlemen, 36. So now we're starting round 2. So you really need to take it with small increments, right? So first of all, if we're learning an obstacle, don't jump straight to a ramp and stairs, right? You're just gonna frustrate yourself. So focus on the easy stuff. Well, the first thing we had the girls do, Olivia and Ellie, and even us boys back in the day, was we would just handstand walk, you know, like 15 or 20 or 15 feet. And instead of like a huge obstacle like this in the middle of the 20, 25 feet, we would just put like a plate, like one plate, like just walk over the plate. Like you need to learn how to get comfortable with the small things and then progress from there, right? CrossFit is all about scaling and starting small and working up. And the same can be said for this handstand obstacle, right? So start with something easy or something that's, you know, semi-difficult, not easy, and then slowly add. So it's easy to do plates because, you know, maybe you start with like a 45-pound comp plate, which is like 2.5 inches. And then from there, maybe you're like, okay, I feel comfortable with that. So maybe now I'll maybe like add a 2.5-pound plate here, and then maybe two 2.5-pound plates, and then I'll put another plate here. So now I have like a pyramid, a very small pyramid, which is essentially what we're doing here, right? And then from there, maybe you add more plates and you make it bigger and bigger. And then at some point, maybe you add different obstacles. Maybe it's like walking over a bar, you know, like a bar with plates on it. Or maybe you're walking over a handstand obstacle. Or maybe you're walking on a ramp now, or stairs, or you know, you're walking sideways, you know, whatever. I'm just making stuff up now. But really my point is you need to start with the easy things first, because if you just start doing a handstand obstacle like we have here, you'll become very frustrated very quickly, and it's not gonna go over well, right? So start with something small, learn that, and then work up. Now, for those of you that can do handstand obstacles or are what you consider proficient at them, how do you become better at them? To be honest, I think I've talked about this before, but you really need to, I didn't do this right now because I'm trying to keep my camera framing close, but we should be putting out where I'm like, I have like 4 foot, I'm handstand walking for about 4 foot before I get on the obstacle, and then about 4 foot after. Because if you just have the ability to kick up straight like that, what I'm doing there, I'm kicking up straight in the obstacle, you get used to using the same hand. And so what I'm getting at is you need to be really cautious and be very cognizant of the fact that you need to become ambidextrous almost for these obstacles. You need to be able to lead with your left and lead with your right when you get to the stairs, or lead with your left and lead with your right. It doesn't really matter when it comes to the ramp. And you know, you need to learn how to like make mistakes but catch yourself, and those kind of things are really important when it comes to handstand obstacle. Because if you just get used to like always leading with your right for the ramp, and then always leading with your right on the stairs, then if you get into a competition and you have to walk 4 feet before it, or you accidentally lead with your left, then you might mess up. And so you really want to focus on making sure that if you have errors in a competition, you can overcome them by training for them during training, right? And so I'm saying that it's a little bit hypocritical because we're not doing it here. We do it. We just aren't showing it right here because I'm trying to keep my camera framing close, because really the goal right here is local muscle endurance. What am I capable of locking out for handstand push-ups? And then what am I capable of doing on the handstand obstacle? So that's kind of what we're doing here. Other things to really discuss when it comes to the handstand obstacle is you're probably going to either like the ramp a lot or like the stairs. So for me, I prefer the ramp over the stairs. I feel more comfortable with the ramp than I do feel comfortable with the stairs. And for Andrew, it's actually different. He prefers the stairs over the ramp. So you're probably gonna end up liking one or the other, and you need to make sure that you practice both. So don't just always start with the ramp or always start with the stairs, you know, make sure you go both sides. That's why you see us do it down and back usually. That way we get both sides. It wouldn't be the same if I always went ramp stairs and never had to go up the stairs, because then there's an issue there where maybe I'm not practicing that. So make sure you do both. Ooh, it's getting worse. It's setting in. All right, so that's round 2, and now we are on to round 3, the third and final round, which we are doing 9-6-3 of a Parallette handstand push-up, and then a handstand obstacle course down and back again. And this Paralette's are 14 inches. I know when you go to the games, sometimes they will use 12 inches. I'll like put a riser or an ab mat down there. I think it's stupid. Like if you can practice a 14, then you can easily crush a 10 or a 12. It should be a lot easier than normal. Some other things to talk about when it comes to handstand obstacles. Let's see here. We talked about the fact to start with both hands opposite. We talked about starting easy and working up slowly. Really, if you want to become better at it, you can sit here all day and you can just practice the handstand obstacle, right? So like for instance, for Jake's very purpose, Jake Flowen, he came to us and he was not good at all. So for that perspective, you just need to have him put, like you couldn't even do one like well rested. So from that perspective, you need to put him on the handstand obstacle and have him practice it and have him do it often. You know, like we usually start the warm up with like 10 minutes of start the day with like 10 minutes of him just warming up on it. And that's good for him. But if you consider yourself very good at it, or if you consider yourself proficient at handstand obstacles, then you need to really look into practicing them under stress or duress or under some kind of fatigue. Because if you just practice them and you're always great at it and you never feel tired, once you get to a competition, you have to do it, whether you're handstand walking or you're handstand push-ups or you're doing wall balls, whatever the case may be, you might totally be terrible at it. And that was me in the beginning, right? Like, we spent a lot of time practicing handstand obstacles and we became pretty good at it. And then the first time Andrew threw it in a workout, all of us just fell apart. And so you really need to make sure that you practice it under stress. And the same can be said about any movement in CrossFit, right? I mean, that's double unders. Like you might learn how to do double unders and you're amazing at them, but as soon as you put them in Annie and you gotta do ab mat sit-ups, or as soon as you put them with a run or whatever, you might fall apart. So you need to focus on being good at a movement, not when you have a resting heart rate, but also when you have an elevated heart rate. And that's the purpose of this handstand obstacle, and that's the purpose of us doing it here. Now, I will say that this is the worst case scenario we are doing here, right? Like, I don't think, it'd be awesome, don't get me wrong, but I don't think CrossFit Games or a sanctioned event will double tap your muscle groups and force you to do similar movements that compound on each other. Like, these are compounding movements, right? Like, I'm doing a handstand push-up and then doing a handstand walk. The same could be said for if I was doing wall balls, right? I'm doing a press, a push, and then another push where I'm handstand walking. You know, like maybe a good sub you might see that doesn't really affect your handstand walk would be like maybe a clean, or maybe like a snatch, or maybe like a deadlift would be good, or a run, or a row, like something like of that nature was more of a pull and not a push. That'd be a good mix with this. But we're training for the worst case scenario here. Like, we're training for the fact that if CrossFit Games is like, okay, we are doing a handstand push-up and a handstand obstacle walk, then some people are really gonna blow at it because they haven't practiced this. They're not good at this. These two movements mixed up considering the same. But we're practicing for the fact that if it comes out, then by golly, we're gonna put our best foot forward to win it. I hope you guys really enjoyed that. Like, to be honest, like, I would love to put out a how-to clip on why we do it, how to do it, with some good subs for it. It's just honestly so hard with all the stuff going on now, training for the games, trying to get these videos out. Honestly, I'm still finishing up this CrossFit vest review, which I have it all filmed. I'm just editing my life away currently. And so, appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for hanging out. If you guys want to watch other videos similar to this, click here. We'll see you guys later. Catch you later. Bye.